world, and you can use it. It is a big bang. Big bang. It is a biggity bang. And it's called you and me, because we are one. And there is that one power, the most powerful force in the universe. It has the power to cure, to heal, to transform lives. It has the power to make people happy again. And this power is called love. Love. Love is what we're exploring this week. This whole month, we're exploring love. And love is one of my favorite topics because I love love. It's great. And there's so many different aspects to love. But the truth of it is that God, that thing that we call God, the infinite everything, that its nature is love. Pure, amazing, absolute love. No, nothing inhibiting it, nothing at all. It's just pure love. And it is everywhere. It is everywhere. And all we have to do is tap into it. It's easy because it's our nature, it's our heart, our soul, our body is made of the energy, the spirit of love. It is who we are. There was a group of professionals that asked a bunch of kids, 4 to 8-year-olds, what is love? And I have a couple of answers here for you. Billy, age 4, says that when someone loves you, the way they say your name is different. You know their name, you know your name is safe in their mouth. Elaine, age 5, says, love is when mommy gives daddy the best piece of chicken. Lauren, age 4, says, I know my older sister loves me because she gives me all of her old clothes and has to go out and buy new ones. Karen, age 7, says, when you love somebody, your eyelashes go up and down and little stars come out of you. And Bobby, age 7, says, love is in the room with you at Christmas if you stop opening presents and listen. And Nika, age 6, says, if you want to learn to love better, you should start with a friend whom you hate. Ram Dass is an amazing teacher, and I read this amazing article from him. It's called the Heart-to-Heart Resuscitation. Heart-to-heart resuscitation. And in that article, he talks about the 3-plane consciousness level. So each human lives on 3 planes of consciousness. We call ourselves I. And there's 3 planes of consciousness that are the I, right? So plane number 1, this is the ego plane. This is the plane that I declare myself as Abigail. It's my mind, my personality, my body, everything that I know as me, as Abigail. Plane number 2 is the soul level. And this plane does not read in minutes. It lives in lifetimes. So it is eternal and picks up one ego and releases an ego, and picks up another ego and releases an ego. But it's always there, and it's always a part of us. That's plane number 2. The 3rd plane, he doesn't choose to name. He said everybody has a different name for it. But it's all one. All one. I call it God. Some people call it universal energy, or Buddha, or Jesus. Others call it the universal force of all life. And this is something that's not separate from us. For instance, my number 3 doesn't look like your number 3. It is the same number 3. It's all the same. We are all connected. That is all of us. And so part of our expression in life to remember who we are is to see ourselves from all 3 of those levels. To see ourselves as the ego, as the soul, and as the eternal consciousness of love, of God. That we are all of that. And to see other people as that as well. So for instance, you are having an issue with somebody. boss had a great idea. He said what he does, he had an issue with W. And he said his way of feeling the love for W was putting on his altar, he had a Buddha, and he had a picture of his guru, of his holy guru. And he had a picture of Jesus. And he felt the love. When he thought of Buddha, he felt the love of Buddha. And when he saw his picture of his guru, he felt the love of his guru. And then when he saw the picture of Jesus, he felt the love of Jesus. And then he had the fourth person on his altar was W. And he felt the love for W. And he knew that this was an expression of love, that he wanted to resuscitate his heart from that feeling of constriction, of hatred, of anger. And so he practiced every day to move from love to love to love and to love. And so I invite you to do that with somebody in your own life who you might feel sadness or anger against. To move them into a place, a space of love, a space of eternal acceptance. Think of a child and how a child makes mistakes. And yet when you look at that child, there is that pure love for that child. And so think about that whenever it comes to anybody who you feel may have harmed you, or maybe you harmed somebody else, and imagine yourself as that child that is pure love. And remember who you are. Coming from those three planes of consciousness, remember who you are. If you can see everybody through that eye of plane number 3, if you can look into the hearts and souls and minds of everybody and see them through that sense of love, that knowingness of pure divinity, then the world will change. You see, there's a social revolution coming on in this world right now. There is social change happening. And we are shifting our focus from the love of power, the love of things, to the power of love. And that's why the world is changing. That's why things are crumbling apart, because there is a movement on this planet, and it is within us, and it is around us, and we're attuned to it. And when we see people from that number 3 plane, instead of thinking, wow, this person is suffering, we just think there is suffering. If you put your hand in the fire, your right hand in the fire, and your left hand pulls it out, it's because you're all one. You're not seeing the world as him or her or me and them and us and they. You're seeing the world as one. There is suffering. If I relieve your suffering, I relieve my suffering. And this is what our choices are, to live in planetary consciousness, to live in this movement, this change of the world, to be in alignment with it. I believe you're all here because you are in alignment with that truth, with that power, with that expression of love on the planet. Oftentimes, we get compelled to get attached to things like, I call it disease. Dis-ease, right? Flus, viruses, colds. You know, if happiness is contagious. Kathy and Lewis had this whole talk about how happiness is contagious. Happiness is literally scientifically proven contagious. For instance, I'm going to laugh right now, and then you're going to laugh after me. Okay, are you ready? You're going to repeat my laughter. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Okay, that was contagious. despair. Maybe health is contagious. Do you ever think about that? If happiness is contagious, and sadness is contagious, and sickness is contagious, well, health is contagious too. So what are you spreading out into the world? What is your contagion? Are you choosing to spread happiness? Are you choosing to spread health and wellness and vitality? Are you choosing to spread love and appreciation and gratitude? What is it that you're choosing to spread? There's an experiment done by the Institute of Heart Math. If you don't know who they are, they're actually here on the Peninsula. And they study the heart. We'll be hearing more about them as the weeks unfold. I love this study. What they did is they got 28 vials of DNA. They called this, let's see, here we go. They called this the local and non-local effects of coherent heart frequencies on conformational changes of DNA. That was the official name of the experiment. They got 28 vials of DNA, and they gave them to 28 researchers who were highly trained in feeling their emotions. And what they had to do is that they had to take this DNA around with them, and they had to choose to feel deeply, powerfully, these emotions. And then the DNA was monitored. When they felt feelings of love, of gratitude, of appreciation, the most amazing thing happened. The DNA strands started to expand and lengthen. When they felt feelings of anger and hatred, the DNA strands closed up, and some of their triggers closed off. They stopped firing. They literally closed up and closed off. And then when they felt those feelings of love and emotion and appreciation again, those feelings expanded the DNA and they turned back on again. It was separate from them. They only held it with them. And it literally changed the DNA. Who you are transforms everybody around you. Your emotions, your expression in this world transforms the world. And so who are you choosing to be? How are you choosing to express this love in the world? There's this tribe in Africa who practice Ubuntu. An anthropologist proposed a game to these African tribe kids. And he said, I'm going to put this fruit basket right here next to this tree, and all of you guys are going to play a little game. He says, okay kids, whoever gets to that fruit basket first is going to win all the fruit. And what these kids did is they went and they grabbed each other's hands and they walked over to the fruit together and they sat down and they shared the fruit. And when the anthropologist asked him why they did that, they said, we believe in Ubuntu. How can one of us be happy if all the other ones are sad? Ubuntu in the Xhosa culture means, I am because we are. I'm reading this book right now. I have it right here. It's called The 5 Love Languages. And we're going to also be exploring this book throughout the month of February. The first love language is about the language of affirmation, words of affirmation. He says in this book that every single person on the planet responds to one of 5 love languages. So everybody in this world has one of 5 love languages. And that's the way that they feel like they're most loved. And when they are treated with this love language, they thrive, open up, live their full potential. And he invites people in this book to practice these love languages on their spouses. But I say, if everybody is in alignment with these love languages These are things that we can practice in all of our relationships. It's not just our spouses, it's our friends, our coworkers, our colleagues. Everybody is part of the one. And if we really truly love ourselves and we truly love the world, then we act in accordance with love. He talks about having the emotional love tank and keeping the love tank full. He said, inside every child is an emotional tank waiting to be filled with love. When a child really feels loved, he will develop normally. But when the love tank is empty, the child will misbehave. And this is the same for adults. When the love tank is empty, the person might act out of fear or sadness, might feel rejected or angry. And that's when you know somebody around you is having their love tank is empty, or maybe your own self, if your own love tank is empty. So I want to invite you to learn the love language of the people around you, because it will dramatically shift your relationships of those who surround you. People will act differently. This week we're exploring, again, language number 1, the words of affirmation. This is such an easy love language. That can be, you look sharp in that suit. Your hair is amazing today, Lynn. Your eyes are brought out so much with that red shirt you have on. You're welcome. Or you might tell your spouse, thank you for taking the garbage out. I really appreciate it when you do it. Just the little things. Thank you for setting all the chairs up. I appreciate you. And this is the love language of appreciation. It doesn't take much, but I invite you to practice it on those you love. Practice appreciation. Practice giving love to all of those around you. And your life will transform. There's an article, or there's a story, in the book about this man. This is written by a therapist. And he had this couple, and they were very unhappy with each other. They were at the end of their ropes. And he said, I don't ever get any appreciation. I don't feel like I'm a man because I'm not getting the appreciation I have. I feel like I am not appreciated for all the qualities that I bring in this relationship. And the woman said, he doesn't care that I have cooked him foods for years and years. I have made his meals, and he works overtime. I appreciate that he makes a lot of money, but I never get to see him. And the therapist gave them the task of finding appreciation with each other. And 2 weeks went by, and he went back to this couple, and the man was like, oh my God, I am in a brand new relationship. This is so cool. And all she did was appreciate him for the things that he already did, that she already appreciated him for, she just never told him. And interestingly enough, she felt like she had not received the love back. But that's because her love language is something else. So I'm going to invite you to come back in the future weeks. It's a little teaser to find out what are the other love languages. And I know that today is a day for great celebration. Somebody amazing is going to win the Super Bowl today. And I'm so excited about it. I'm totally watching it. And so it's going to be great. Yeah, so this is a great day today, so I'm not going to go on anymore. But I did want to invite you to consider, what does love mean to you? Do you need a heart-to-heart resuscitation with somebody? And if you do, who is it? What are people catching from you? And who can you use words of affirmation with? Your homework this week, if you're prepared to do it, is speak only words of love about people. Consciously speak words of love about people. and our world will transform because we are all one. Let's pray.